New information tonight concerning a Fox 9 investigation. We reported that millions of dollars in public subsidies to help low-income families with child care were being stolen.
And it's believed by sources with direct knowledge of the fraud that some of the money could be ending up with terror organizations. Jeff Ballion joining us now with more on his investigation. Jeff?
That's right. Tonight you're going to hear from a government whistleblower who tried sounding the alarm about this massive fraud well over a year ago. He's speaking out because he believes he has a moral obligation to do so and because he feels lives are on the line. Emails obtained by the Fox 9 investigators show the Department of Human Services was warned that it had a massive daycare fraud problem on its hands, that millions of stolen tax dollars were going overseas, and it was likely some of the money was being skimmed by terrorism organizations.
I've never seen anything of this level or scope in my 27-year career as an investigator.
Scott Stillman spent 8 years managing the state's digital forensics lab. That means he mined data from computers and smartphones. When the state started going after daycare centers suspected of fraud, Stillman was directly involved in the investigations. He was so alarmed by what he was finding that in March of 2017, he fired off a series of emails to his supervisors at the Department of Human Services.
We are working on and currently overwhelmed with significant fraud cases involving organized crime, defrauding hundreds of millions of dollars annually in taxpayer monies.
Here, Stillman is reading from one of the emails he wrote, which the Fox 9 investigators obtained through a public records request. DHS took 2 months before it turned over the emails, and much of what it provided to us was redacted.
They were not easy to write, but I felt I had an obligation because I think that there is a strong possibility this money is being used against innocent civilians and against our military.
Stillman says he alerted a number of people in DHS, including the commissioner's chief of staff, with this message.
Significant amounts of these defrauded dollars are being sent overseas to countries and organizations connected to entities known to fund terrorism.
Was the warning ever passed along to Governor Dayton?
I was not informed.
He says no, but other sources tell us people within the governor's office were told about these concerns a couple of years ago.
My chief of staff currently and previous chief of staff, from what I'm told, did not get any information alleging that there was that kind of volume of theft.
The state currently has 10 daycare centers under investigation for fraudulent billing of child care services. Each of the suspect centers has received several $1 million in government subsidies. According to public records and government sources, most are owned by Somali immigrants. We asked the Department of Human Services about the emails Scott Stillman sent in 2017. Who in the chain of command was aware of them and when? It responded with a statement. The Deputy Commissioner, Communications and Legal Staff learned there may be emails on this subject when Fox 9 made its data request in March. The then Chief Compliance Officer was informed at the time the emails were originally sent.
I would like to have an independent federal investigation of the handling of DHS programs, specifically a daycare program and the Medicaid fraud program, by preferably Homeland Security or the Department of Justice.
Scott Stillman is no longer with the state. He resigned from his position this past March after 10 years on the job. I'm Fox 9 investigator Jeff Ballion.